Hello there. In the last video I covered simple present tense, and today I am going to take you further in tenses series, and we are going to see present continuous tense. So in this video I am going to tell you the format of present continuous, when do we use present continuous, and what are the rules to follow, or what are the things to keep in our mind when we use that tense. But before we move to that tense, let us first have a comparison between present simple and continuous tense. Are you ready for today's session? Let's start. Present tense is generally used for those actions which happen every day, or it can be used for some kind of habits. But present continuous tense is used about the actions which are happening at the time of speaking. Just have a look at this table. Present simple is for habitual actions or general truth which you cannot change, whereas present continuous is for real present, that is at the moment, at the present or now. So here in continuous tense we talk about actions that are happening now, at this moment. Simple present is used for permanent situations, like situations which generally do not change and can go on for a long time. But present continuous tense is used to talk about temporary situations which are happening only for a short period of time. Let's look at the example which will tell you what is the difference and how the difference is done here. I exercise every day. When I speak this line, I mean that this action of exercising happens every day. It's a permanent and habitual action for me. But when I say I am exercising right now, it means I am talking about an action which is only for a short period of time or at the time of speaking, which is temporary. I am exercising right now does not mean that I exercise every day. This is the difference between the two tenses. When we come to the format of the tenses, there is again obviously a difference. If you look here, in present simple, we use subject and V1 form of the verb with S or ES. Now this adding of S or ES depends on the singular or plural subject. If the subject is singular, we'll add S or ES with the verb, or if the subject is plural, we will not add anything to the verb. But come here, look at the present continuous format, and you'll see that you have a subject and then you have auxiliary verb forms of be in the present tense. Now forms of be in the present tense is am or are, and then followed by the first form of the verb with ing. Now that you have a fair idea of the difference between present simple and present continuous tense, we can now move forward to the actual subject of today's video, that is present continuous tense. Let's look at the format first, then we will see where all it is used, and at the end we will see the exceptions where this tense is not used. We should not forget to use the auxiliary verb be, and that too in present form. So in the present tense, the forms of be are is, am and are. Now let's have a look at the subjects and we will know which auxiliary form to use with it. With I, you always use am, nothing else. And the verb in continuous tense will always be with ing. Let's take an example, and today we'll take the verb walk. So if walk is my verb, then in continuous tense I have to make it in the ing form. So instead of walk, I will write here walking. Now the sentence becomes I am walking. Look at the next ones. You, we and they will always use the auxiliary verb are. And again the verb will be in the ing form. So it will be you are walking, we are walking, they are walking. Come to the next set of subjects. He, she, it or noun. Noun, by noun I mean somebody's name, like let's say Raj or Ria or Shaina, anything. So let's make a sentence on this. He is, again verb in the ing form, and let's take the same verb again and it will be walking. So now I can make sentences like this. He is walking, she is walking, it is walking, then Raj is walking, Ria is walking or Shaina is walking. Let's come to the negative part of this tense. When I say negative, it means I have to add the word not. But this not word will be added after the auxiliary verb here. Let's look at this. With I am always going to use the auxiliary form am, and then I will put not. So I can say I am not, and we are verb in ing form, and let's write the verb here, walking. So I can make a negative sentence like this. I am not walking. Similarly, I can use you, we and they along with the auxiliary verb are, and then the negative word not. Now are not can also be used in its contracted form like aren't. So the sentences here can become you are not walking, we aren't walking, or they aren't walking. Come to the next set of subjects for negative formation. He, she, it or anybody's name will always take the auxiliary verb is followed by the word not in the negative and verb in the ing form. Let's try to make sentences on this using the same verb. He is not walking, she isn't walking, it isn't walking, Raj isn't walking, Shaina isn't walking, and Ria isn't walking. Now after we saw positive and negative statements, let's jump to interrogative, where we are going to change the sequence of the words. So in interrogative, we will have the auxiliary verbs first, then the subjects, and after that not can be used for negative questions, or for positive questions we will not use the word not and use the verb in ing form. Let's try to make sentences on these. Am I? We can use the same verb here. If I write here walking and a question mark. Am I walking or am I not walking? Both are acceptable. Next, are is used with you, we, they. So are you walking? Are we not walking? Or are they not walking? Clear? Okay, let's come to the next set of subjects where we use is as the auxiliary verb. Like, is he not walking? Let me write the verb for you here and make a complete sentence out of it. So it becomes, is she walking? Is it not walking? Or is Raj walking? Is Ria not walking? Is Shaina not walking? So that's how we make sentences in the positive, negative, interrogative forms of present continuous tense. And here you have to compulsorily use the present forms of auxiliary verb be, that is, am, are, and the verb with ing form. Now moving ahead with present continuous tense, let us look at where all it is generally used. Present continuous tenses can be used for actions that are happening at the time of speaking. Now this point I had explained you right in the beginning of the video, that when we talk about an action using continuous tense, it means that action is happening at the time of speaking. For example, I am listening to music. Now this am listening tells us when I'm speaking this sentence, at that time I am listening to music, which means at the time of speaking that action is happening parallelly. The next use is for actions in progress about this time, but not necessarily at the time of speaking. For example, he wants to go to France, so he is learning French. Now this is an action which is correct at the present moment, but it may not be happening at the time I am speaking about it. That it is correct that he is learning French these days, but not necessarily he is learning at the very moment when I am speaking this. So in that case also, present continuous tense is used. Now this tense is also used to express a plan in the near future. But when we are talking about near future, it is mandatory to express the time of action with certain words like next week, tonight, next morning. So here we have to use those time reference words. Let's look at this example. My cousins are coming to stay with us next week. Now here if you see, next week is the time reference given. So if I am giving a time reference, I can use present continuous tense in that sentence also. The last of all the uses is to express an undesirable habit. What do you mean by undesirable habit? It is a habit which a person has which is not taken positively by others, not considered to be okay. He is always criticizing people unnecessarily. Is always criticizing. Now this word always tells us that it's a habit. At that point of time also we can use present continuous tense. So here we finish all the uses of present continuous tense, and now let's move on to the exceptions, that is where all it cannot be used. Let's start with the verbs of senses. Verbs of senses means that we can sense, like see, hear, smell, notice, recognize. Now these verbs will never have ing form. For example, I can say I smell something burning. That is correct. But if I say I am smelling, then this becomes a wrong usage. Come to the verbs like emotions. That means the feelings that you have inside you, like want, desire, love, hate, wish, forgive, like, dislike, respect, etc. Now these verbs will not have ing with it. For example, I am hungry. I want something to eat. Now if you look at this verb want, I have used this in simple present tense, but if I add ing to it and try to use it in continuous tense, then it will be completely wrong. So I am wanting is a wrong usage. Instead I should say I want something to eat. I desire someone in my life. I love my mother. I hate that boy. I wish to have a car, not I am wishing to have a car. I forgive you, not I am forgiving you. So these verbs you have to keep in your mind while speaking. Come to the next category, thinking. Thinking, here we have verbs like think, feel, know, mean, realize, understand, suppose, believe, remember, expect, etc. Now again, this set of verbs will also not have ing with it. For example, I think you like sports. So I can use the word think here in its base form. But if I use it like I am thinking, then it is totally wrong. Take any other verb here. I know where your house is. It's a correct usage. But if I say I am knowing where your house is, then that's completely wrong. Similarly, I cannot say I am understanding or he is understanding. But now, if I say I am understanding, then that word understanding has a different meaning. That word understanding refers to a noun, a quality of being understandable. Okay, but if I use it as a verb, then I cannot use with ing form. Then instead of that, I will use I understand you or he understands me. Look at the next category of verbs, that is possession. Possession means belongingness, something that you possess. So in this category you have the verbs like have, own, belong, possess, etc. Now you can use the sentence something like this: I have your book. That's absolutely correct. But instead, if you say I am having your book, then this is completely wrong. We generally tend to say this, but it's absolutely wrong in usage. Now, after we have seen the exception, there is something very interesting to note. Few of the verbs have got double meaning, two meanings, and as per the meaning, they can be used either in simple present tense or in present continuous. Out of all those verbs, I have chosen 4 very commonly used verbs like think, see, look, and feel. Let's see how the verb is changed in different tenses here. Think. When we speak about the verb think, it has 2 meanings. Either to have an opinion, like in this case, I think you are right, not I am thinking you are right. Or if you want to tell about your plans, then you can say I am thinking about the next holidays. So depending on the meaning, you can change the tense or use the correct tense there. Come to the verb look. Look has got again 2 different meanings. One is seem like. That looks like our train. Now this is simple present here. But if I use this verb in the meaning as turning eyes towards somebody, then I can say, what are you looking at? Come to the third verb, see. Now see can also mean understand, or see can also mean meeting somebody. If I use it like this, I see what you mean. It means I'm telling the other person that I can understand. But if I use it in the present continuous tense, like here, I am seeing my dentist on Tuesday. The moment I make seeing out of see, it means that I am going to meet somebody. The meaning changes there itself. Come to the next verb, feel. Now feel can be used either to express an opinion or to tell that you are feeling sick or you're feeling ill. Okay, let's see the example on this. If you are giving an opinion or if you have an opinion about something, then you will use it in the simple present tense like this: I feel you are making a mistake. But if you are feeling ill or sick or feeling nauseatic or anything like that, then you can use it either in present continuous tense like I am feeling ill, or you can also use it in simple present tense like I feel ill. So in this video we saw what is the difference between simple present tense and present continuous, what is the format to be followed to make present continuous tense, what are its different uses, and what are the exceptions to follow regarding certain verbs which cannot be used in the ing form but can be used in simple present form. I hope my today's video has helped you in some way to understand this tense. See you in my next video where I'll be taking present perfect tense. Till then, keep practicing this tense and take very good care of yourself. Stay safe. All the best. Goodbye.